All right. Well, I just cracked a beer. We're sitting at home practicing social distancing. Let's build some rockets, I guess. COVID-19 is taking over the world, so let's figure out a way to get our astronauts into space so they can avoid the virus. So as you can see, I'm building a Falcon 9 rocket replica. Maybe you can tell. I don't know if you can tell or not. But as you can see, this is the Dragon capsule with the trunk portion, and I tried putting the Super Draco engines on the actual capsule itself, but it looks like I had a fuel crossfeed issue and had to put the actual engines on the trunk section, which is okay. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And now it's off to the second stage and the first stage of the Falcon 9 rocket. And this is actually going to be a reusable booster. And now some of you might know that it's actually really hard to do this in the game because you can't fly two vehicles at once. And I'm going to get around this by basically flying up as high as I can go, cutting off the engines, separating, flying the second stage into a somewhat suborbital trajectory, then quick switching back to my first stage in order to perform the landing, which is kind of hard, but it's actually done. It can be done. So that's going to be kind of a cool thing to show you guys. Right now, I'm just kind of building the landing legs to actually make sure this thing is stable on the ground. These landing legs usually save my rocket in a lot of situations because sometimes you land on uneven terrain and the booster will just tip over. So adding the landing legs is a very important part. And then I just kind of make them aesthetically pleasing here because I'm OCD about this. But that's okay. You don't have to be. You can just put hydraulic pistons down at the bottom of it, and that'll work too. I've definitely done that before, but I like doing this just because it looks cooler. And then of course, I always test everything out before I fly it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe even do a couple static fires because that's what a real Falcon 9 would do. So might as well do that, obviously. And then of course you see my air brakes up there as kind of my grid fins. We don't have grid fins in the stock game, so I just use air brakes. They work. They keep the aerodynamic profile the way I want it, and that you can also make them pitch and yaw for you. But I put Merlin or not Merlin engines, Werner engines up on the top of the upper or bottom stage, first stage, sorry, and that will give me some control as well. And now I did do a static fire, as you can see. I ran out of electricity, so I'm gonna go in there and quick add some more batteries just to make sure that my landing legs will open when I want them to and I maintain control of the vehicle the entire time. So now that the rocket is pretty much ready to go, we will get the astronauts loaded aboard and get them ready for launch on the launch pad. So here we are, all loaded up and ready to go. Let's take off. So we'll start off with a kind of a good landing. I didn't want to actually spool up the engines and make it look like a real launch because I don't have a lot of spare Delta V. This rocket just squeaks into orbit barely. It's kind of actually amazing that I'm able to get this thing to orbit and still land the first stage. It's kind of a quick, nerve-wracking, stressful process. If you watch what I have to do, I have to make a lot of quick movement. So now, as you can see, we're ascending through the atmosphere, almost ready for our first stage separation. We pass through max Q, throttling our engines down, getting ready for that MECO, main engine cutoff, and there it is, waiting for that call out. Cool. So first stage is separated, and now the second stage is fired, and it's on its way to a sub orbit. I can't quite get it all the way into a full orbit, and the second stage doesn't actually have enough fuel to fully put it into an orbit. But as you can see, I try to get my apoapsis pretty high just because I try to get into space as quick as I can because you can't switch vehicles while in the atmosphere. So as you can see now, I quick switch to that first stage as quick as I could. I'm kind of already inefficient because I'm already descending, and so I quick do my boost back burn to try to push myself into the right trajectory. As you can see, I actually kind of overshot it just a little bit, but that's okay. I still land right next to the Kerbal Space Center, so that's really what's important here. And then yeah, you can see my Werner engines go to work, adjusting the attitude of my stage there, and then there goes my air brakes to try to basically make this thing as stable as possible. And then we come in for that nice approach. Oh god, it's getting nerve-wracking. Will we land it? Will we land it? All right, we're starting our landing burn, and landing legs will deploy. Oh god, all right, here we go. Oh, a little slow, and okay, all right. Oh god, we're coming. Yeah, this is not the most ideal landing, but little hover, little Blue Origin hover, and that's a landing. Oh, we lost a couple of our engines, but there, as you can see, the landing legs kept this thing upright, and that is perfect. You are my everything, booster. All right, now let's switch back to that first stage. We can't because we're still rocking on the ground. Of course, it just has to delay me, doesn't it? All right. Yep, we'll wait till it stops moving, and then all right, we'll switch to that. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna put ourselves into an orbit, so that way we can actually say we fully completed the mission, and that is how that is done. That was very quick, and it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you have to get it up high and then let the first stage fall back, and then quick switch to it before it disappears and hits the ground. So now we're in orbit, and that's how it's done. We fully reused the first stage, so the only thing that is expended is the second stage, and of course the trunk section. And the capsule part can of course be reused because it has parachutes and can be landed. So now we're safe and we're away from the coronavirus, and that was the mission. So I guess we'll wait for it to be done. So now crew has gotten word that the coronavirus has been eradicated. We are now ready to descend back to Earth. The coronavirus got a vaccine apparently, and everyone's cleared. So we jettisoned our trunk, and we're preparing for a descend through the atmosphere. And of course, the most important thing is I am finishing my beer now. So that was really the most important part. But yeah, so now we're coasting through the atmosphere, starting to slow down, and as you can see, we'll probably get a nice splashdown. We've got a great crew who knows how to control the vehicle perfectly, and of course they were able to stay safe because they were not infected with the coronavirus. So that was the mission objective. Now there goes the parachutes, and the crew is just sitting patiently waiting for it to splash down, and then a recovery crew to come pick them up and tell them the good news about the coronavirus. Anyways, guys, that concludes today's mission. If you liked it, as always, please hit that like button, or let me know what you think in the comments below, and also please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you, guys.